Coming up on City Beat, there is a drug health officials say is being used on an epidemic level across the country and here in Las Vegas. We'll tell you how heroin is destroying and all too often ending lives, but also what's being done in our city to help those who want to recover, including a new tool being used that's saving lives. Plus, there's also plenty of good news when it comes to our great city, including our being an All-America City finalist. Find out what it takes to receive this distinction and when we will find out if we come out on top. And we'll take you to the first couple of days of training at the Las Vegas Fire and Rescue Training Center. You'll see why becoming a firefighter in our city is a real test of endurance on the body and the mind. Hello, everyone, and welcome to City Beat from the KCLV TV studios. I'm your host, Nancy Byrne. We start off with a disturbing but very important topic. There's a drug that about 20 or 30 years ago, most people thought of as an inner city problem. Well, heroin has left the inner city and has infiltrated all socioeconomic communities and all age groups. In fact, the Centers for Disease Control says that in the last few years, deaths from heroin overdoses have doubled just in the last few years in most states, Nevada included. So we decided to take a look at this disturbing trend, see why it's happening, but also to take a look at what local and state leaders are doing to help those who want to recover. Now, we want to warn you, if you're a little squeamish about needles, there may be times you'll want to turn away from the screen, but please continue to listen because this is a very important topic. Alicia Marshall is the house manager in this women's sober living home. To sit and talk with her is a pleasure. It's inspiring. At first, you might think the life that led her here was one filled with passion for helping those in need, or perhaps a college degree in family counseling. But the road that brought her to this job actually began at the age of 12, when she began experimenting with drugs and alcohol.
By the time actually I was 14, I was a daily user. With whatever was around. But of course, by 17, I was full-blown meth addict, daily user, ended up in the hospital because of a very abusive relationship.
That's where she says she was introduced to painkillers and quickly became addicted to them, needing more and more to achieve the high she was looking for.
From about 17 to 23, I was drinking almost daily, started getting back on heavier pain medication, started with the usual progress, the Lortabs, the oxycodone, Oxycontin, and eventually one day somebody offered me heroin because it was a lot cheaper.
It's $5 for a hit to get high.
Joe Engel lost his 19-year-old son, Reese, to a heroin overdose and is now president of the nonprofit foundation There Is No Hero in Heroin. He says it's not only cheaper than prescription drugs, it is way too accessible.
And they're delivering small amounts, very small amounts of very potent heroin, pizza delivery style. They're coming to you, so to speak. They have business hours, and the addicts know the business hours, so they call during those business hours, and with 15 to 20 minutes, they have it delivered to them wherever they're at in town.
It's within 20 minutes, no matter where you are, to your front door, to the park, I used to have it delivered to work. It's just that easy to get.
According to many whose lives have been damaged by heroin, it's not only the availability and the affordability that's increasing the number of heroin addicts. A newer form of heroin now being sold on the streets has doubled the number of overdose deaths in recent years.
A lot of drug dealers now are lacing heroin with fentanyl, and fentanyl is 10 times stronger than heroin. And if they lace that, they can stretch their supply. And the thing is users, they don't realize that that's what they're getting, and they're doing the same dose and they're dying. And, like I said, in the past year that I've been sober, I know of about 8 to 10 people that have died.
That is why individuals like Alicia and organizations like There Is No Hero in Heroin have joined forces with our medical community, local and state leaders to pass SB 459. Is that a different form of
and this is
administering? Dr. David Slattery heads up the EMS division of Las Vegas Fire and Rescue. He knows firsthand the importance of this new law.
That has a lot of components to it, but one of those components is arming the public with the reversal agent for opiate overdoses. So when someone has a heroin overdose or takes too many pain pills and stops breathing, the reversal agent, the antidote for that is Narcan. And now in the past, this was only available by paramedics.
Dr. Slattery says the Narcan comes in two forms. One is a nasal application. The other works much like an EpiPen someone might use for severe allergic reactions.
So all you're going to do is you're going to pull this red thing.
Okay.
Place black end against outer thigh.
You're going to put it on your outer thigh.
Okay.
And you just push it down.
Gotcha.
4, 3, 2, 1. Injection complete.
He recommends some training before getting a prescription from your doctor or therapist, but it is not required. Some have questioned why try to save someone who is trying to commit suicide. Aside from it being the right thing to do, according to Dr. Slattery, he says not all overdoses are suicide attempts.
The family members and friends that have someone that's suffering from an addiction of prescription pain medication or heroin, it's a tough position to be in. And this really empowers them to know that they can help their loved one in the case that they would have an overdose or need it.
If we look at this as a health issue rather than a criminal endeavor and treat it as such, these aren't bad kids trying to get good, they're sick kids trying to get well.
Like Alicia, who has been clean and sober for more than a year now. It took many tries at recovery, but she finally made it thanks to Joe's Foundation and many others. And being here at the Sober Living House is exactly where she feels she can now help others find their way back to life.
When people come in brand new, it reminds me of where I was, and I'm able to help other women, along the way and say, hey, I've been there too. I felt that way. You're gonna be okay. As long as you don't pick up again, you're gonna be okay.
An interesting and touching note about Alicia, she actually doesn't even know who paid for her medical and recovery bills. She says it must have been someone who saw hope in a young lady who had lost all of hers.
It almost at a loss for words for it, because I know for a fact I would not be alive right now if it wasn't for them. At all. They saved my life.
And finally, to those who are ever faced with the temptation to try heroin, these are the words from one father who lost his son.
Do it, heroin is the devil. Once you start, being in, taking the first hit is kind of your choice, but becoming an addict is not your choice, and heroin will win.
If you or a loved one are having a problem with drug or alcohol addiction, there are many recovery options in the city of Las Vegas. We can't go any further without thanking everyone who participated in that story. Coming forward with your brave story is going to help someone. Well, let's move on to some very happy news from Jennifer Davies. She tells us that the city of Las Vegas recently got a huge thumbs up for our efforts to improve education and the overall quality of life for our local kids.
Community members and employees joined the City Council last week to celebrate the city's designation as an All-America City finalist. The local marching band from Legacy High School even helped drive some extra excitement around this major achievement.
For Las Vegas to be a finalist in a state that's never won the award, I think that's saying great things. And this year's topic is very, very relevant to the work that we've been doing in Las Vegas. The National Civic League looks at communities that are engaging their citizens, that they are engaging their nonprofits. They're looking for innovation and connectedness and inclusiveness, and that is something that Las Vegas does very well.
The newly formed Office of Youth Development and Social Innovation has been working diligently to ensure that all children and families have the support that they need. From after-school and pre-K programs to making sure kids have access to healthy food, partnerships with organizations like 3 Square and our own Downtown Achieves are showing that Las Vegas does have what it takes to help our kids succeed.
Although education in our community in the traditional sense, K-12 education is provided by the Clark County School District, it takes a community to ensure that our kids are educated.
And why does Las Vegas deserve to win?
Las Vegas has become a place where we are family, we are community. There's a lot beyond the neon, and I believe that the efforts that we've made from the community grassroots effort are absolutely stellar.
Countless people have already taken to social media to share why they think Las Vegas should be the next All-America City. Use the hashtag SinCityToSuperCity to share why you think Las Vegas has such a great community. For City Beat, I'm Jennifer Davies.
Our education team will be heading to Denver in June to see if we've won. Keep your fingers crossed. Being a finalist is such an honor in itself. Thank you, Jennifer, for that story. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to show you just what it takes to become a Las Vegas Fire and Rescue firefighter. Here's a little hint. It ain't easy. Congratulations to the City of Las Vegas Employee of the Month, Scott Dykes with the Public Works Department. Scott is a land survey technician who has become what his coworkers call a one-man wolf pack. Not because he's unfriendly, but because the city has experienced reductions in force over the years, and Scott has been tasked with doing land surveys by himself. Normally, a crew conducts surveys, but Scott has taken on a tough job and excelled, delivering fabulous customer service. In order to meet the needs of his job, Scott has mastered the use of robotic survey equipment, accomplishing tasks that a two-person crew would normally do. Instead of complaining about a shortage of staff and time, Scott simply gets the job done. Because of his dedication to the city and our residents, it's our pleasure to name Scott Dykes the City of Las Vegas Employee of the Month. Welcome back to City Beat from the KCLV TV studios. Las Vegas Fire and Rescue is a nationally renowned fire department. That's why when word goes out they're looking for new recruits, thousands apply. Now, there's a very extensive selection and testing process that goes into forming each class. There can be as few as 10 cadets. There can be as many as 50. On average, there's about 30. But the bottom line is it's quite an accomplishment just to get into the academy. But what some of the men and women don't realize is that getting in and staying in are two different things. Eric Sorensen, who is a photographer and editor with us here at Channel 2, and producer Sue Levitt, followed our new cadets on their first day of training.
Morning, everyone.
Good morning, sir. Let's go, recruits. Let's go. Every step. No gaps. Pick it up. Pick it up. Pick it up.
I think I may be the happiest guy here to see all of you. We really need you. We're really proud that you're here.
Are you going to be the one to have to babysit Webb? No, sir. Are you going to be the one to have to guide the way your hand around here, Webb? Sir, no, sir.
You are having 18 weeks of incredible instruction by some of the most dedicated members of the fire service.
I was 37 years old in my academy. I was the oldest guy in my academy. But that's always at the top, because I came into the best shape of my life.
Training staff, our cadre who is here, they volunteered to be here with you.
How many here are in the best shape of their lives? Not one of you better raise your hand. Not one.
And that's really important for me to share that with you, because these folks are here for you. They are willing to come here and engage fully in making sure that you are prepared to be a Las Vegas firefighter.
If I get lost in a fire, will you come look for me? Sir, yes, sir!
They'll come in at 6:30, and in that half hour before they actually start, they kind of get all their gear ready out on their spots, because every morning they have a morning muster and an inspection. I don't think any of them fully come prepared.
Class 2016, TAC 02, attend hot!
I think we all think we're prepared, but it's never what you expect.
Welcome to the Fire Academy, gentlemen and lady.
They don't know what to expect when they get here. Absolutely, we're tough on them, and it's going to be intense for a long time, because when you're out on the floor and you're going into a fire or an EMS situation, it's an intense situation, and we need these kids to start understanding how to function and be able to think clearly under those conditions.
I am old school. What that means is you keep your word. When you say you're going to do something, you do it. Sir, yes, sir!
Very first day, obviously they're stressed. They've worked hard. Some of them worked 5 or 6 years testing, trying to just get on this job. And their first day, they don't want to mess up.
Woodhouse? Sir, yes, sir! You are better get your shit straight, quick, fast, and in a hurry. Otherwise, you will not make it through this academy. Do you understand? Sir, yes, sir!
You don't really look at it as like yelling. It's more discipline and motivation.
Once you are up on the tower, you will perform 25 push-ups.
Physically, they're gonna run some towers, which our tower is 5 stories high. So they're gonna run up to the top of the tower, When they get to the top, they're going to do at least 25 push-ups.
Take them up on your command. Aye, sir. Move! 2 abreast! What does 2 abreast mean? Come back here! Get back here! Get back here! We will try that again! What does 2 abreast mean, class leader? 2 by 2, sir! Why were you going 1 by 1? No excuse, sir! Maybe because of your old habits. That's called failure to follow direction.
When the cadre or the RTOs get in our faces, you can't take it personal.
2 by 2 up the tower. Move! 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 What is your problem? Let's go! Down! 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 What are you doing, Willis? Is that a push-up?
The push-up, then you're on your knees. So what, just stop. Just lay on the deck. Just lay on the deck.
Cover!
Sir! Let me ask you guys something. Position attention. How long did you know you were coming to the academy before you got here? How long?
Sir, 2 weeks, sir. 1 week, sir.
How long?
Sir, 1 week, sir.
1 week.
Sir, yes, sir.
No. 1 week. No way. Family night's 1 week. Family night was Monday.
Sir, yes, sir.
Recruit Academy started when? Monday, right?
Sir, yes, sir.
That's 1 week, right?
Sir, yes, sir.
They knew ahead of time they were coming in, and when they come in bad shape, that tells us that, maybe they haven't really, they don't understand what they're getting into. Maybe it's not something that they really wanted.
Are you out of shape right now?
Sir, no, sir.
You're in shape and you're getting lightheaded.
Sir, yes, sir.
You too?
Sir, yes, sir.
This might not be the job for you guys.
This class is probably going to be one of our hardest just because it's through the summer and they're going to have to, stay hydrated and mentally be on their game. To pass the academy, they have to do a 1.5 mile run under 12.5 minutes.
Go.
Everybody else,
ready? Sir, yes, sir. Go.
40 push-ups in a minute.
Start. 1, 2, 3.
40 sit-ups in a minute.
Come on. 3. Guys, here, I'm gonna
The hold plank for 2 minutes. And then they have to do 10 pull-ups in a 10-minute period of time.
No one's guaranteed. We still have to pass our benchmarks, and we just go day to day right now.
Sir Garbowski, number 8, sir.
Sir Allen, 2, sir.
So that first day is just kind of a base to see where they're at. And then probably once a month they'll take them over to the school and run them through that benchmark just to see who's improved and to make sure everyone's going to meet that benchmark before the end of the academy.
Modest, 13, sir.
Sir 14, Mendoza, sir.
9, Garcia, sir.
Sir, 12, Canet, sir.
I don't have that many years left. And so these kids are going to be ones taking over when I'm gone, and they're going to be ones coming down here and teaching the new ones. And I want those guys and girls to understand what it's about.
Unity! 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 Unity!
That's what the core values being, the ones that the Las Vegas Fire and Rescue implement, with duty and honor, unity, integrity. You can't prepare enough, is basically what it comes down to. Like, if you think running a mile every single day or running 5 miles a week, you're highly mistaken. Or if you can do 30 push-ups in a row, that's all nice and dandy, but try to do 60 in a row, because it's whatever you do, it's going to come back even stronger. And you're going to be tired. You're not going to be able to spend time with your family like you want to. But after those 18 weeks or 20 weeks, and you get badged, and you get your badge, and you get to be on the floor and actually go up to that next level of probationary firefighter, it's going to be all worth it. But whatever you think you're training for and you're ready for, you don't even know.
It's the greatest job in the world, but you have to really want it.
We cannot teach the willingness. That comes from here. That comes from the heart.
When we get a hold of you, we'll know if you really want it or not.
Class 2016 Tax Error 2, ball!
Unfortunately, we're told that about 20% on average do drop out before graduation, but we are hoping to see every one of those cadets graduate at the end of this summer. You know, it's a monumental task getting through that academy, so it should give us all great reassurance who live here in Las Vegas. When we pick up the phone and call 911 for a fire or medical emergency, we are getting the best of the best. Thank you, Eric and Sue, for that story. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to show you a unique way the city of Las Vegas manages to decorate our streets and stay green.
Here at the GED Pep Talk Center, we have pep talkers standing by to get you motivated for your GED diploma. Text the name Terry to 69222 for a sympathetic pep talk.
You show people what you really are.
Or for a gentle pep talk, text the name Deborah.
You know you're going to make people very proud of you.
And if that's not enough, text the name Danny for an extreme pep talk.
Prove everyone wrong. Show them you're the boss.
Get your GED pep talk and find free GED classes. Text the name of the person you want a pep talk from to 69222.
Welcome back to City Beat from the KCLV TV studios. You know, we drive by them all the time, but few of us really give any kind of thought into the hard work and talent that goes into some of those median art projects. The latest installation went on Grand Teton between Durango and Buffalo, and we're going to show you right now that keeping those medians is no easy task, but for our operations and maintenance department, they make it look like just another day on the job. The city of Las Vegas has found a way to put plants on our city street medians that don't require any water or fertilizer, and animals that require no feeding or care. This artwork, most of which is actually created by city workers, turns dull dirt islands in our roadways into mini art galleries. We caught up with this operations and maintenance crew as they transformed this island on Grand Teton on April 13th. It has sat dormant for some 15 years.
This has always been a flooding corridor. Recently, the flood improvements were installed in Grand Teton. Now that this is no longer a flood corridor, we wanted to improve the median islands for the neighborhood.
Phase 1 of the project took place weeks earlier when the stone and smaller items were put in place. Watching the crew perform Phase 2, however, is a lesson in patience, teamwork, and precision. It took a crane, a concrete mixing truck, and a crew of very skilled operations and maintenance workers.
Today we called a crane in to help us with a 21-foot saguaro, a petroglyph stone, which was probably about a half a ton, and a monument wall.
They started with the monument wall. After concrete was poured into the foundation, the crane lifted the wall off the flatbed, and the men on the ground carefully guided it to the perfect spot. The wall beautifully marks this area as Centennial Hills, with several icons that are representative of the area. There was already a large piece of wood that looked something like driftwood or an old petrified tree on the median, which they also hooked up to the crane and repositioned. Then it was time for this boulder to be moved from the truck to the median. Watching the crew guide it to its place, you can see Walker's estimate of half a ton is probably right on target. Last but not least, this giant cactus. Watching the teamwork and precision of all involved brings to mind threading a very heavy needle, then making sure it's in the perfect place to be bolted down.
The crew's great. This is an outstanding crew all the way around, and all of our crews are good, but this crew's done a really nice job on this project.
The guys only took a few minutes to sit back and enjoy the fruits of their labor. They say the real satisfaction is hearing from nearby residents who will now admire their work for years to come.
You can see we're having people drive by, wave at us, honk, and so walk over into the work zone and talk to us. We get a lot of comments, a lot of positive comments. After the big floods in 2013, this entire corridor was washed out, and we're very happy now to be able to come back and do something really nice for the community.
Now, the final phase of that installation is due in just a few weeks, and we're told it's large animals, horses, mountain sheep. I don't know, it's a mystery. We'll just have to wait and see. But in the meantime, congratulations to our operations and maintenance department on keeping our city streets so beautiful. You know, when people think about Las Vegas across the world, they probably think neon. It's unlikely they think green. But the fact of the matter is, Las Vegas and our surrounding communities are making great strides in not only saving precious resources, but in harnessing the elements particularly the sun, to save energy. Recently, some of our city representatives went to downtown Summerlin for Green Fest, not only to let people know what we're doing as a city to be green, but to let people know how they can be green in their own homes. With some high energy music.
Well, I bet there's rich folks eating in that fancy dining car. They're probably drinking coffee and smoking big cigars.
And booth after booth displaying low energy and sustainable ideas, the Green Fest at downtown Summerlin was a huge success. The idea is not only to provide fun and entertainment for families and local residents, but to let people in on how they can live a more environmentally friendly life.
I'm just an extreme environmentalist, I guess you might say.
People like John Brooks, who jumped on the green wagon many years ago after a career in the oil fields, he says he believes events like this can not only help people save money and save our earth. In his opinion, it's something that needs to be addressed sooner rather than later.
Whenever you hear a weather report that says worse than ever, worse snowstorm than ever, worst heat wave than ever, that's telling us there is a serious problem with the globe right now.
And from the looks of this event, a lot of companies, corporations, and businesses are taking serious steps to live green. And a lot of residents are learning to fall right in line by becoming more educated. Our city of Las Vegas has been participating in fairs like this for 26 years now, according to John Salvi. Our booths at these events might not be glamorous, but they certainly are informative. For example, he says there are so many misnomers out there about what is safe and what is not when it comes to disposing of many common household items in our sinks and our toilets.
On the sanitary sewer side, we talk a lot about grease, kitchen grease going into the sewer. What happens is they put it down with hot water and it ends up coagulating 60 or 80 feet down the sewer, causing sanitary sewer overflows, which allows sewage to go into the gutter, so we want to keep that down.
Overflows that can end up making a mess and end up in Lake Mead. Medications are another thing that can end up contaminating our water source when poured down a sink or toilet. And while on the pleasant yet necessary topic of toilets,
one of the areas the past few years that's really came to a head are the quote flushable wipes. They're flushable, but they do not break down in the sewer system, and they're causing problems in sewer systems across the country, clogging pumps and everything else.
Same goes for paper towels and cotton balls, two other no-nos according to John. The bottom line is the city of Las Vegas has been on the forefront of sustainability with our renewable power sources. From commitment to powering with solar energy to our fleet of vehicles that are run by alternative fuel sources, we are building a green community to make life better.
We do probably 6 to 8 public outreach events per year. This is by far our biggest event. We get a lot of people out here asking a lot of tough questions. We encourage those tough questions. We like to talk about things, talk about issues.
John Brooks, our self-proclaimed extreme environmentalist, says learning and practicing more environmentally smart habits is what he feels is our duty to the generations to come.
They really need us to do our job because we're the adults here. They can't do anything about it. You know, the only thing they can do about it when they get older is suffer the consequences of our ignorance.
And with crowds like this, and with some 150 exhibitors, seems at least in our community, there is a collaborative effort to leave things clean and green for years to come. Well, that does it for another edition of City Beat, but this is a good time to remind you to check out our new, beautiful, user-friendly website, lasvegasnevada.gov, and to remind you you can catch us all over the place, here on Channel 2, on the web, Facebook, Twitter. You can hardly get away from us. As we go to close, we're going to take you to an Arbor Day celebration out at Hadland Park. Second grade students from Sunrise Eggers Elementary School joined Councilman Bob Coffin to celebrate Arbor Day, something that has been celebrated for 144 years now. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you for the next City Beat.